Iranians have launched Shahed 136 drones that fly at about 115 miles an hour, 110 pounds. They launch hundreds of them at a time to try to overwhelm Israeli air defense systems. And Dan Perry is in Tel Aviv. He used to run Middle East coverage for the Associated Press. Dan, you and I, in our time in the Middle East together, we would always talk about this coming Israel-Iran war. Are we here?
Well, we certainly have been expecting it for really over a decade. I think much depends on the amount of success the Iranians experienced tonight. You know, some people speculate that Hamas was surprised by their degree of success on October 7th, and maybe it was too much, and that caused the blistering counterattack that has us where we are 6 months later. My sense is the Iranians wanted to avenge the death of their senior commander in the consulate in Damascus. Felt that they had been pushed too far and needed to make a stand, but don't really want to cause enough damage to force Israel to counterattack. And Israel has a lot of levers that it can use if it does counterattack. I think it's quite extraordinary that Iran put out, or at least the Iranian UN mission put out a tweet before even the first drone reached Israel, saying from their perspective it's all done and dusted and the matter can be considered concluded. They're almost begging not to be counterattacked. So I have to kind of think they're hoping that Israel and the U.S. Knock down these drones. But of course, a lot of things can go terribly wrong when you have hundreds of drones launched at what appear to be military sites in the Golan Heights and in southern Israel mostly, although I can't guarantee that it won't be.
Israel Channel 12 just now in the past couple of minutes reporting senior Israeli official, very significant retaliation to come. Dan, just from where you are in Tel Aviv, are you starting to hear the sirens?
I am not hearing sirens. In fact, I'm watching TV as you are, and I see that they say that there have been hits. There have been hits, but that no casualties have been reported. I also see a senior official, I don't know who that is, talking about significant retaliation. And look, I heard what you said early in the broadcast, and there is a scenario that certainly involves the many thousands of American troops all across the region. If Israel feels that it can't let this stand, then among the things that are possible are for Israel to strike at Iranian oil platforms in the Gulf. And I don't have to tell you that the U.S. has major military presence all over the Gulf, and in particular in Qatar, which is also close to Iran. It's a very complex puzzle, and it could easily go south rather quickly.
Yeah, the number of ways that this could go pear-shaped right now in the opening hours of this are sort of incredible. The off-ramp that Iran talks about is laughable, but you understand why they want it. You think about what they fired, the Shahed 136 drones, 110-pound warhead. They traveled about 120 miles an hour to overwhelm Israeli air defenses. What do you make of how well telegraphed this has been? I mean, we knew this was coming all day. The Israelis have known this has been coming for a week and have been ramping up for it.
It's extremely unusual. You know, the Iranians generally take pride in having a different culture where they don't react immediately at a time that is convenient to their rival, but bide their time and pick their battles, and they're quite proud of this. So it was a little bit bizarre that they, from the beginning, made rather clear and were at least discovered by U.S. and Israeli intelligence to be planning a dramatic counterstrike. Look, the assassination in Damascus wasn't the only thing. I mean, and they have weirdly, despite being an unpopular regime in Iran, they've come under some domestic pressure to do something for national pride. I think from their perspective, which is a different one from the Western mindset, they felt they had to do something. I sense they're trying to calibrate. That said, for a country trying to calibrate, they might have overplayed their hand, because I challenge you to come up with an example in recent history, indeed in history, of a country, never mind a country in the democratic West, facing a concerted and telegraphed attack by hundreds of missiles and drones. It doesn't happen every day.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.